From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Well, we're beginning to see it get a little bit more difficult to clear things out here for the coast. Had a difficult time in many areas yesterday. I think that'll be the case again here for today. The cooling trend inland, though, that will continue. In fact, it peaks tomorrow with a warming trend by Friday, and not to mention this weekend. You'll see that here in the 7-day forecast, and not to mention the 7-day outlook here for that trend. But here's what it looks like today. Inland, topping out in the upper 80s to about 90. For the coast, in the low 60s. Again, having a difficult time clearing out here this afternoon. Here's Trinity County. Temperature is just a tad warmer than the inland areas, about 92 degrees for Weaverville and Hayfork. Lewiston, about 90 degrees, probably more like the mid-80s for places like Ruth, for example. We take a look at that temperature trend for Weaverville. There's the peak of that cooling trend on Thursday I was talking about. See how the temperature is going back up by Friday? That's the transition day because we're back up to about 100 degrees or higher for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then temperatures starting to drop again going into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So up, then back down again. All right, so there's the heat down to our south. That's the heat that's mainly over the desert southwest and over Texas. Cooler air kind of moving on in. Now, we're going to start to see, especially Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this elongated big ridge of high pressure right here. It's not very big. It's not very massive. You can kind of see this overall progression right here. That's kind of the bubble of heat. So think of the jet stream as a boundary, for the most part, a boundary between the cooler air to the north and the warm air to the south. So the jet stream is situated right about here. Okay, so the heat is here. As you get closer and closer to the equator, the hotter and hotter it gets. As you get closer and closer to the pole, North Pole, the cooler and cooler it gets. For the most part, again, there are variations in there. But that's the overall trend here. So we're kind of to the south of that. We're seeing some of that heat expand northward into our region come Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's why we see temperatures increase. But look what happens. We're starting to see this big ridge of high pressure developing over the eastern Pacific through next week. It's going to stay there. The main heat is now back down over desert southwest. Now, what's trapped in between that is what we call a trough of low pressure. Remember I was talking about a jet stream. So when we have these dips in the jet stream, what we see here is cooler air trying to cool down. Now, by the time that cooler air gets over us, it moderates and it turns from cold to warm. But at least it's not going from cold to hot. So that's the reason why our temperatures are going to drop going through next week. Now, looking at futurecasts, I just wanted to show you this because we are going to be looking at the potential, especially as we go into Thursday, for some thunderstorms developing here, especially in Siskiyou County Thursday afternoon. Some of those could make their way into northern Trinity County. So say Trinity Center northward, maybe an isolated thunderstorm on Thursday. And that may even be the case on Friday as well. We'll have to watch that closely. And the visibility, notice it's starting to clear out. I don't think it's going to be quite as clear as you're seeing here. I think there's still going to be some patchy fog out there this afternoon along the coast. Then tomorrow morning, that fog returns, low visibility, and I think a better chance of us not really, should I say, really not going to really clear things out a whole lot. There could be some patchy spots with some clearing, but yeah, that fog kind of sticking around over the next few days. Now the wave heights, we're really not going to see a very big transition. In fact, here's today at about 4 feet. We take you into your Thursday, 4 to 5 feet. No big changes there. It looks like some pretty good conditions out there for the boater, for the fishermen and the boaters out there. All right, let's take a look at your marine forecast. Winds from the northwest at 5 to 10 knots. Your waves from the northwest at 4 feet at 5 seconds and northwest at 2 feet at about 9 seconds. And there are, of course, no advisories out there. Again, you can see how those wave heights are looking pretty good. All right, take a look at those temperatures for today. Temperatures should be in the low 90s for Weaverville, Hayfork, about 89 Trinity Center, 84 in Ruth. We take you off to the west in the inland areas, just slightly cooler than Trinity County. And there's those low 60s along the coast. And then, again, you don't have to head too far inland, and it does start to warm up here pretty rapidly. Here is your 7-day outlook. So let's talk about those temperatures first. And you see how they're dropping. That's the peak on Thursday. They go back up, especially for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They start to go down Monday, Tuesday, but not by a whole lot. Now, another thing that I'm not showing here is that in places north of Weaverville, northern Trinity County, we could see on Thursday, Friday, maybe a stray shower or thunderstorm. Trinity Center, northward, say Callahan, for example, could be looking at some activity here. So we'll be on the lookout for that. I'll keep you updated here as we get closer and closer to that time frame. But take a look at the 7-day outlook for the coast. No big changes. Looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the low to mid 60s.